Hey Triple F friends, it's Tyron again. We are back with a video to share with you another tip on how you can achieve your goals without really having to spend very much money at all. Next, Triple F.
Go back and forth.
Hello, here we are, back for another week of Triple F, and with David and Tyron. We're your host, and we are ready for an action-packed podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like Rambo.
We're going to start out today with maybe a little bit of fitness advice.
Oh, a lot of it.
A lot of fitness advice?
Yeah, yeah. Did you get your workout in yet today?
I did. Every Tuesday.
It's better than me. I didn't get mine in.
No, every Tuesday I go down, I get it in, get a little bit of chest and triceps and
hold on.
Ready to go.
How many times have you gotten the 100-pound dumbbells on a chest press?
Oh man, on the flat bench, I can go about 17 times.
17. Okay, I got 15.
Okay,
that's my upper limit so far.
That's why 15. I got 17 because I knew you.
Yeah, I know. I actually, in fact, I think once I did 15 and I told you that, you went and right away did 16. Actually, I think you did 17. So we have a little bit of a competition of who can get the most reps on the 100-pound dumbbells for flat chest press. Yeah. So if any of you are out there listening and you've got a better number or higher number, let's see. That's not bad though, because I mean, how old are you again?
I'm 66.
66 years old. That's got to be like elite level. I would think it's elite.
I don't know. It's probably just enough that I won't get hurt. So I don't think I'd get hurt doing 15 or 17 reps.
But that's
if I go much heavier than, if you buy any heavier dumbbells for the gym, I'm afraid I'll probably get hurt. So.
The thing is hardly anybody would use heavier dumbbells. I get that request all the time. But it's, if you factor in how much those dumbbells cost, how much it costs to ship them, and then the few one or two people that would actually use them, you're just like, the cost benefit just doesn't make sense. That's why we just don't buy them. So
I look at it more from a health benefit. If you put the heavier ones in there and I decide to go after them, I may be injured. So
it's not cost benefit. It's like risk reward
benefit. There you go.
Hey, that probably is more on the finance side. But we are talking about fitness today.
Yep.
And so before we get too long-winded with telling all the stuff that's happened this week, because it's been a really good week. And I heard a quote that says that any good leader never has more than one good day in a row.
Is that right?
And yesterday was a good day. And I'm going to tell you why yesterday was such a good day. As a father who has two children who, they're really independent. And I don't want to get into details about my kids, but in general, they're pretty independent, which means we don't get a lot of phone calls from them. And we're empty nesters. And so when they do call, it's either something really good or it's really bad.
Or something's broke.
Yeah, something bad or good, right? And so I get a call yesterday from our daughter, Rachel, who's at BYU, right? And guess what? She calls me up, and first thing I think is there's something wrong, right? I'm like, hey, Rachel, what's wrong? What's wrong? Everything okay? And my mom does that to me as well. I need to call her more often. So anyway, she calls me up and she says, Dad, guess what? I got into law school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she's in the accounting program at BYU. She's in her 4th year. It's kind of she's also in her 1st year for her master's. And she took the LSAT last summer. Got, I think, kind of an average, a little slightly above average score. And then she applied, but she hadn't heard anything and she just kind of forgot about it. And then the dean called her of the law school and said, "Hey, Rachel, congratulations. We want to offer for you to come be a part of our department, and we want to offer you a scholarship." That was one of those moments. I have to tell you, one of those moments as a proud father that you have, at least for me. I mean, maybe there are parents like you that might have your kids calling you all the time, telling you every little thing. We don't have that. And so when they call with those types of things, it's like a ray of sunshine. And so this morning I woke up, remember my adage about, hey, no leader has, more than one good day in a row. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a bad day, because yesterday was one of the greats. So I hope this goes well, because so far everything's going pretty well today. So if I get 2 days in a row, that kills the adage, or maybe I'm just not a good leader.
Maybe we'll get a lot of views today.
I hope so,
That'll be
man.
what
I
makes
hope
it a good
so.
day.
So we'll see how this goes. But okay, so I wanted to share with you guys in our first podcast, I believe it was our first one, we talked about how important it was to have a coach.
Right.
Right. I look at you as a coach for me when it comes to finances. You may look at me in some degree. I don't necessarily work with you like one-on-one in the gym because you know a lot
But I
already.
ask you stuff all the time. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm always there as a
Yeah.
resource. And I guess I always have that label of a coach and in my position, obviously, because I do a lot of personal training. So people will rely on me for that, that expertise. And I do my best to try to help as much as possible. But when it comes to, to sort of our everyday viewer who's out there, who's interested in fitness, having a coach may not be as viable. Right? Financially, maybe you're not able to afford a coach. So what is the next best thing? And so that's what I wanted to kind of share with you today through my own experience, because back when I started on this fitness journey, let's say even way back in high school when I was playing basketball and stuff, played basketball all through high school, went to college, continued playing basketball, kind of went to the gym periodically, but nothing really like dialed in, right? I just kind of did it just to kind of be with my friends and stuff. And then after I finished school, after my mission, I served a 2-year mission. Then after that, I came home and I was kind of overweight, a little chunky. And then, I started to focus more on getting in shape. Met my wife, we got married, we had our first child. And then, now let me back up. As part of our church, this is something really important. As part of our church, one thing that happens is that everyone gets assigned what we call a home teacher. It's like somebody that you're responsible for. So let's say you were a part of our church and you were assigned to me, then I would be expected to come over and check on you and make sure you're good and to be a resource for you. Maybe like a coach, a spiritual advisor or something like that. We don't call it home teaching anymore. We call it ministering. But anyway, at the time it was home teaching. And so I had a family who lived in our neighborhood in Baytown, Texas, where we lived. Who I was assigned, and his name was Jeff Carr, and he's a member of the church, but he wasn't active. He wasn't going to church, and so I went over and knocked on his door, and he opened up the door. He had a couple big dogs and a beautiful family, and he invited me in, and has been a member of our church for a long time. Well, he invites me in and we start talking. And at the time I was really into surfing. Like surfing was my physical activity outlet and I was addicted to it. And I was a member of a gym, but I was mainly a member of a gym mainly to just kind of improve my cardiovascular just so I could surf better. Well, I go in and I start talking to Jeff and I find out Jeff's a power lifter. Right. And so he starts talking to me about he's kind of, got big, thick neck and stocky, a power lifter kind of look. Right. So I was intrigued and he's like, yeah, you should see my garage. And so he goes and he opens up his door to his garage and there's just like this, it's like this beautiful, like shrine of equipment, right? He's got a power rack, he's got deadlift stuff, he's got all kinds of equipment in his garage. No room for a car, it's just all equipment, right? You got that, you can kind of imagine what that looks like. And so he's like, man, you should start working out with me. I'll teach you how to do this. And so that's what we did. I was like, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to get to know him better, do something he's interested in. And I'm also interested in it. I would like to learn some new movements and stuff from somebody who knows what he's doing. And so we started to do that and we started working out all the time and we became really good friends. And so over the course of several months, we then said, hey, maybe we should, I had a membership at this Fitness Connection Club in Baytown and he had a membership there too. So we ended up working out there as well. And so we kind of created this little tribe of people, not so different than what you have at the gym right now, in that you've got Julio, you've got me, you've got all the other guys there that and we kind of create a little bit of a community and we help each other. Right. And so this is what ended up being at Fitness Connection. Well, one day, I had gotten, Jeff was like, hey, Tyron, I've got this powerlifting meet out in Conroe. You want to go with me? We'll go check out and see what a powerlifting meet is actually like. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go listen to some people, move a lot of heavy weight, squats, bench press, and deadlift. And so we did it. We went out to Conroe and there was kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a convention center. Yeah. And one section was sectioned off for the powerlifters. And then there was this other section And I was watching the powerlifting guys, and then I kind of noticed there was another section, like a whole nother event going on at the same time. And so I kind of peek around the curtain, look over, and there's this like strange competition going on where there are these guys in these kind of Speedo outfits with lots of tan on them.
Lots of oil.
Lots of oil. And they're getting up and they're doing all these kind of strange poses, right? And so I'm like, I'm kind of intrigued, right? I look over there and they have these great physiques.
Yep.
You know, they look amazing.
Yep.
And I kind of look back over at the power lifters and I'm like,
they didn't look so amazing.
They're kind of fat, you know, kind of chubby, aesthetically just not that great. And I was like, I think I want to go over here and go check out what's going on over here. So we did that. I had my family there. And so we go and we like watch the bodybuilding stuff over on the other side. And we're sitting there and I'm kind of in like a tight shirt, you know, because I've been working out for a couple of years, right? So I was getting a little jacked, you know, and we sat behind this woman and her children, and come to find out her husband was competing in this bodybuilding show, and that's what was going on, right? You have these guys that get up there and they're in their little Speedos and they're flexing, they're going through what they call their poses, and one competitor gets up on the stage and the people in front of us just start cheering, like they just start screaming, right? And the kids are screaming and they're yelling and they're, "Go dad, go dad." And I'm just sitting there going, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You know, that's so great, right? To have your dad up there and be so proud of him and see him achieve something like that. And so we were really intrigued. We, you know, after he was done, we started asking the wife a bunch of questions, right? We just went through, she just started telling us all the stuff that he had to do to be on stage. And it was our first impression of what it took to actually accomplish something like that, to look like that. And then he eventually comes down, he walks over, sits down, gives his wife as much of a hug as he could, because remember, he's got all this tan on him, right? So you can't really hug too much or else you'll ruin the clothes. And so anyway, and the kids are just so excited. They're so proud of their dad. And then they sit down and the wife introduces us, and then he like turns around and he starts talking. He's like, yeah, you know, it's taken me about 4 or 5 months to get ready for this. And, you know, I've been working out a lot. And then he looks at me and he goes, you know what? You actually look like you'd be good at this. You should do it. You should try it. And it was that moment where that seed was planted in my head that, man, I could do this. I could do this. You know, I have Jeff. Jeff is a great power lifter. He's a great coach. You know, he's a friend of mine, and we have this great community at the gym. Why not, you know, take this and do something with it? Now, this isn't an effort to try to promote a bunch of people to get into bodybuilding. That's not for everybody.
That's a lot of work.
That's a tremendous amount of commitment.
That's a full-time job.
But the point is that what it took to encourage me to do something I never thought I could do before was just someone speaking up and just saying, hey, I think you could do it, right? And in all the years that I have been in fitness, I cannot tell you the number of times I have sat in front of someone who has told me, I don't think I can lift this. This looks too heavy for me. You know, it's like looking at those 100-pound dumbbells and going, there's no way I could lift that 15 times. But then you've got somebody that says, no, you can do it. Try it. Just try it. You know the technique. You know how it's done. You got all that support there. Yeah. And then before you know it, you're moving the weight. You're like, oh man, you get to 7, 8, 9, still going, like, oh man, I might be able to get here. I might be able to finish this. And then all of a sudden you hit 15 and you're just super elated. You jump up and you're like, you're just going crazy. Yeah. Right. And that's the kind of stuff that I see all the time. And what I wanted to convey to you was that each of you out there who's watching this has that ability in you to do more than you think you can. But what it may take in order for you to actually achieve that may be a friend. Yeah. Someone like David. It maybe takes someone like a fellow friend at the gym. But that is possible within you. It just may take a little bit of a push. Yeah. And so if you don't have the funds to have a coach work with you, then you should be looking in the gym space for someone who you could become a friend with. And I have to tell you, as we mentioned in previous podcasts, some of my best friends ever have come from the gym.
Yeah.
And
That
so,
that kinda happened to me with Julio. He convinced me 16 years ago to start
mhm.
down the fitness program, and
Yeah, what was that like for you?
it was great. I mean, we were working together, and he kind of invited me. He'd been working out since he was in his 20s, and invited me to the gym, and got on a
Mhm,
program, got that guidance, figured out how to do it right, how to do it safely, and you start seeing results fairly
mhm,
quick when you haven't worked out much before.
mhm.
And so once you see results, as you would in bodybuilding or any other kind of fitness program, once you've lost weight, once people start noticing you've lost weight, once you start looking a bit more fit, you get rid of the midsection and you start putting some tone on. Once that happens, that just feeds
Yep.
your desire to want to continue that.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, I think you're right. That one person, then the one friend you have, can really push it. And since
Mhm.
then, we've been working out together now for 16
Forever. You
years.
guys have been
So
together forever.
yeah, yeah, and he's a bit much sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. He's a great guy,
We
and
just need to get him married.
he's a great guy. And
Mhm.
I just really look forward to going to the gym because you really have to look forward to doing something
Yep.
when you do it for that long.
Mhm.
And fitness is about the long term. It's not about working out for a week or two and seeing a lot of results
Yep.
and a lot of
Mhm.
stuff like that. So you really have to, if you're going to be in the fitness game, you have to be there a long time. So it helps to have a person
Yep.
that you shows up when you're there, shows up for you, helps you out. You can call, you can talk to them about,
Mhm.
what your desires are and what you want to,
Yep.
what you want to accomplish. And they can really help you along, especially
Mhm.
if they're knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable about lifting and fitness and working out. I had like very little, had never really been on a real weight lifting type program before.
Mhm.
He taught me a ton. Um, Here we are 16 years later, still working out.
Same for me, that one little seed that was planted and then having the support of Jeff. And Jeff he was with me for a few years, and then as I continued to progress, as his life changed with his work and so forth, but because I had a tribe of people, when Jeff wasn't able to be there, you acquire other friends that then then start to rely on to give you spots and for
Right.
encouragement, and then life happens, and then you may transition to other friends and stuff. But you generally never do it. I've never seen anybody who's successful really at anything just be able to do it on their own.
Yeah.
Never. I've never seen it. So you always have to have somebody with you to kind of pick up where you may have some deficiencies, and that's the case certainly through my bodybuilding career. And then the other point, last point is that you may be that person for somebody else, right?
Right.
You may need someone at some point to help you get started, but at some point, you then can pay it forward by helping someone
Yeah.
else to get started and to plant that seed that they can do more than they think they can do. And so we just constantly are able to receive and give. And I think that is a wonderful thing about fitness, finance, about life in general. And so that's what I would encourage you to do. Do more than you can, and then look for those people who can provide some support in the areas where you might be deficient. They're all over in the gym.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, and there are guys looking to try to help each other. There's plenty of help in the gym. You just got to be willing to ask for a spot.
Yeah. I mean, I've never talked to anybody in the gym that wasn't willing to give you a
Yeah.
point. You see them doing something that looks really effective and
Hmm.
then they're doing it really well. And you ask them, about it and they
Yep.
tell you everything. I mean, they'll tell you more than you probably need to
Yep.
know about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, people in the gym are there for a purpose and they're always willing to
Oh
point
yeah.
things out, help you,
Hmm.
spot you if you need a spot, all those types of things. So
And some of those biggest bodybuilders are some of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And so don't be intimidated by the size, because they're pretty nice, all right? So don't be afraid.
I guess it's nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you. Hopefully that helps you out in your own fitness journey to do something that maybe you're not willing to do, and then, look for those people to support you along the way, because everybody needs support. There's nobody that does it on their own.
No, there's
All
really
right?
not, and especially something like working out. I mean, it always helps to have an accountability partner push. So,
Mhm.
the best way for me, my suggestion would be if you're going to get on a fitness program, find a like-minded person,
Yep.
somebody or somebody you meet in a gym situation or at work, and try to find a workout partner. It just makes it so much more pleasant, so much easier to,
Mhm.
when because not everybody gets up every morning just can't
Yeah.
wait to get to the gym,
Yep.
but if you have a workout partner that's waiting for you, it gives you a little bit extra motivation to get in and do it regularly. So that's
Yep.
really good advice. So
Well, man, I'm excited to hear some financial advice coming up in this next podcast.
It's going to be life. It's going to be just life altering for a lot of young people. So
Whoa.
that's just my
Not for the old people. Just for the
not
young,
really. It's going to be
young folk.
mostly for young people.
Okay.
But old people, can, as always, old people can certainly help the young people get through the
Pay it forward.
So yeah, there you go.
That's right. All right.
Very
Cool.
good.
Good job. All right. We'll talk to you again very soon, guys. See ya.
Bye.